Welcome to Shaped by Faith. I'm Theresa Rowe. My guests today are Burley Tillman-Sullivan, the Executive Director of Mentor Kids Kentucky, and local comedian Ben Cecil. Welcome to Shaped by Faith, both of you.
Thank you, Teresa.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, Ben, I want to hear about you.
Okay.
We have not met
So do I.
before. Okay. Well, obviously you're a comedian. So, what do you really do?
I'm a full-time firefighter,
Okay.
and worked part-time for Mentor Kids for a few years, and stopped doing that a few years ago, but have maintained loyalty and a support for what they do and believe very strongly in it. So we had this opportunity for me to kind of combine those things. Started doing comedy about 4 years ago, and so this is kind of an everybody wins situation where I can make people laugh and for a good cause, and everybody wins.
So, what interested you in comedy? Like, how did you get your start? You've only been doing this for 4 years?
Yes, as kind of a bucket list thing of mine, I'd always studied stand-up. I always thought maybe I could do that. I'd always been the cut up in, family situations and best man speeches and different things like that. And I'd done some public speaking and wasn't really frightened by that. So my wife got kind of tired of me talking about it and just said, you know what, call the pastors and see if they'll let you do this as a fundraiser at the church.
Great idea.
So that's what we did, and emailed my pastors, and they were supportive, and I thought it was a good idea. So our church has an adoption fund called the Titus Fund, where we help fund adoptions within the church. So we just set it up as a suggested donation. All the money went to that. And so I thought that way, if I try this and I'm terrible at it, no one will be mad. All the money went to adoptions.
Right.
And then if it goes well, then great. So we set that up, and I thought, I'll have 30 of my family members show up and, to be kind. But I think there was over 400 people the very first time I ever performed it, because it's a fun thing to get out and do. It's different, and
obviously it's
and family
clean,
friendly,
right? Yes.
Right, mostly. I don't know about if clean is the word. There's no profanity in it. Yes, it is family friendly. But no, it went well, and it was the first time I ever performed was about an hour and 20 minutes. And most comedians start off performing 5, 10, 15-minute sets. So I really did it the hard way. Because I didn't know if anyone would laugh at any of it.
And did
but
they?
usually if you've seen a comedian on TV or Netflix or something, they're performing for an hour, that's material they've been doing for a long time. That they've slowly worked into their act, and they know all of this plays well with a crowd.
Yes.
But, like I said, I did it the hard way because I didn't know if anybody would laugh at any of it.
What happened?
It went really well. I mean, had a lot of good feedback, and then the next show we had even more people come, and the next show we had even more people come. So I've had a lot of support from people, and that's been really cool and motivated me to keep trying it.
So, Burley, what prompted you to get Ben for a fundraiser?
He's hysterical. I mean, I don't want to have you
Well, that's the idea.
a big head or anything.
No, it's okay.
But
He's wearing a hat.
yes.
Contained.
It's contained. Yeah.
Yes. I actually went to one of his shows before I was associated at all with Mentor Kids, and it was hilarious. And it was clean fun. And there were kids there. I mean, there was something for everybody. And whenever I became executive director, I looked, and it had not been done the previous year. And so I talked to Ben. I tried to come in very gentle because I'm like a huge extrovert, and just say I wanted to think about it and pray about it. And then I kept waiting to hear back, and I'd see him at church, and he'd turn his head and walk the other way. And so then one time I finally made eye contact because I don't think he expected to see me there, and I was like, please, please. And when that didn't work, I got a hold of his wife.
Oh, that's
yes,
a great way
and she
to
thought it was a
see.
great idea.
Yeah. So Ben, why did you ignore Burley?
That's a good question, Ben.
You can't. There's no ignoring Burley. I don't think there was anything deliberate on my part. I'm kind of the opposite. I am an introvert, and so I have been accused multiple times in my life of being snobbish, and I'm like, no, I just kind of not really outgoing in a particular setting. So I didn't actively avoid you, that I recall, but I'm not above that. I'm just saying I don't think I did.
It's interesting that, a lot of entertainers are introverts. And they have this gift that God has wired them with to get up in front of people and deliver a message or deliver a joke in your case, right?
Right, and my wife and I have had multiple conversations about this. I'm actually more comfortable addressing a crowd of hundreds of people than making small talk at a table with people I don't, like 2 or 3 people.
I am right there with you. I am not an extrovert at all. And I've been accused of the same. I just kind of stand back and watch it all go down, and it makes me very nervous and anxious at times because I don't all the time know what to talk about other than, do you want to do a Pilates pose or something? Are you scooping your belly? You know what I'm saying? It's like, give me 500 people, I'm good. But I totally get that, and it's very interesting to me. I have met so many people in the entertainment industry that are so much like that, and like yourself. So obviously comedy just comes natural to you. So as a child, I mean, did you, venture into comedy, or did you get up in front of your family and tell
I did
jokes?
do some things like that. Everyone in my family's funny. I have to say
Really?
that, coming down from my mother's mother.
So it's in your DNA?
Yes, and lots of laughter and cutting up and throughout my entire childhood, and I think for me too, not to get too serious with it, having a loss at a young age. I lost my father when I was young, and I kind of turned to being goofy as kind of a way of dealing with that, and stayed with it, and it just kind of worked for me. And I realized some of the things I think to say and I don't say it loud, and then I do, I get a reaction. I'm like, that's kind of fun. So I just kept with it, and it just became the way I like to relate with people.
So how did you become a firefighter? I mean, what drew you to that?
Well, very strangely, studied marketing in college at Murray State. Got a bachelor's degree. So what that has to do with firefighting is absolutely zero. Yeah. And I think it comes from a primal childhood boyish thing of the closest thing I could get to a real life superhero, I guess.
That's
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. It was just kind of I was looking for a job. I'd moved home and I saw that and I thought, that could be a really cool job. It's has nothing to do with what I've just spent a lot of money and time pursuing, but I didn't really like marketing. I kind of worked in that a little bit. There's nothing I really want to sell anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And I even said at the time, you have to really believe in something to sell it, and other than the gospel, there wasn't a lot I was interested in selling. So at that point, I was actually also a youth pastor too. So I applied at the fire department, just thinking we'll see what happens. Got hired, and have stayed with it and loved it every day.
All right, we're going to get right back to both of you. We're going to take a break, okay? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Shaped by Faith. I'm Theresa Rowe, and in the studio today I have Burley Tillman Sullivan, the Executive Director of Mentor Kids Kentucky, and local comedian and firefighter, superhero, Ben Cecil.
Correct.
Okay, Ben, we were just talking about you being a firefighter, and I wanted to ask you about the physical part of being a firefighter. As a fitness instructor, I know it takes a lot of core strength, a lot of upper body and lower body. So how did you become a firefighter?
I'm
with you.
Right.
Okay. I can't be a comedian. That is not my calling. I offend people.
I thought it was hilarious.
Okay,
This is
thank
where the
you,
faith
Burley.
and prayer part comes in.
Faith and prayer.
My,
Because I'm a little bit more
he
like
just looks at you like.
shaped by cake.
Shaped by cake.
Personally.
All right, look, shaped by faith, not shaped by cake. Okay. We could go there. That could be a whole entire show.
It could.
So, no, seriously, what did you have to do for the physical part?
We have a test that you have to take called the CPAT, which is Certified Physical Agility Test. And
Okay.
it's kind of a standardized test at this point that our department where I work adopted some years back. And so a lot of it is leg strength, and it tests, basically it's designed to test the types of things you would do at a fire in the order that you would do them.
Okay.
And so I knew it was coming up, so I basically trained on like incline treadmills, wearing weighted vests, that kind of thing, because that's the kind of a lot of it. And did that for several months, trying to get ready for it. And that always worked out, but then that helped me to focus on specifically what I was going to be tested for.
Gotcha.
So, and you have like a practice go at it, and then a week later you have like the real thing where it counts. So the day that I had the practice, my wife had been in the hospital the night before and pregnant, and by the time I got to my test, I had not slept, I had not eaten breakfast, I had not stretched. And at that point we did the outdoors, and it was about this time of year, so it was really cold, and I came in, I did the test. The hardest part to me was the stair climber that you do at the beginning with about, I think it's about 75 pounds on you.
Wow.
And you have to do it for 3 minutes with you're not allowed to touch the rails. Because in the real situation you'd be carrying your gear, your tank, and a hose if you were climbing a high rise when you initially got there. So that was the worst part. I guess I got off of that and my legs were kind of rubbery, and I ended up, I did not come in under time on my practice run. I was over by about 9 seconds.
You must have a lot of endurance and strength as well. God must have wired you with that.
Yes, and it was terrible, but at the same time I'm thinking, for the stair climber anyway, I'm thinking I can put up with anything for 3 minutes.
Right.
And so I was ready for it. The next week I was ready for it, and kind of adjusted my strategy somewhat, and was shaved off over 1 minute and 20 seconds of my time.
What's your favorite part of being a firefighter?
Well, there's never a dull moment. There's never 2 days that are the same, never 2 calls that are the same. It's always interesting. And certain things stick out in your mind as far as significant events that you respond to and that type of thing. But nothing will top the camaraderie and the relationships that you build. Basically, living with this group of guys for every third day. I mean, it's a third of your life, 24 hours at a time, every 3 days. And so we get to know each other. I liken it to being married. No matter how, eventually you spend that much time with someone, you're going to butt heads. but
That's true.
but there's a lot of fun too, and it's really the ultimate team sport. And just knowing every situation we go in, some of them are scary. You don't know what you're going to roll up on, but knowing no matter what it is, these guys are with me. We've got each other's back, and we're going to deal with it together. So yeah, the time I've spent and the friends I've made stick out more than anything else about the job.
Do you ever work that into your comedy routine, like being a firefighter?
I have before. I have brought it up before in some of the types of situations we go in, which are very often hilarious, because we get to see how people really live. Normally if someone comes in your house, you have some preparation time. Maybe you straighten your house up or yourself up or whatever. But for us, it's the furthest thing from people's minds, so we get to see exactly how people live. And it's very often, even though our primary focus is always doing our job to the best of our ability, peripherally we do catch a lot of, did you see that? Or that was, oh wow, that was interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of humor that can come with that too. So I have worked some of that into my show.
Let's talk about the comedy night. Your presentation is called Let's Pretend We Like Each Other.
Yes.
That's it? That's the name of it. So what's up with that name?
Well, a lot goes into the name of the show. I've done, this will be my fourth, what I say, big show, because
Okay.
performing mostly in Owensboro and performing primarily to a lot of the same people coming back, I feel a very real obligation to come up with entirely new material every time I do that. I don't want people to go to the trouble of getting ready or buying a ticket or getting a sitter or whatever they do and then come see me and it's the same thing they already saw me do.
Yes.
So I try to come up with an entirely new show every time I do one of these. And the title is part of the hook. So there's several titles that I threw out that my wife squashed. It was like, no,
Thank you, Mandy.
you can't have that on a ticket or a poster or whatever. She's my filter. And so I come up with let's pretend we like each other, which could mean a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yes.
It could mean your relationships at work or your relationships with your family or your neighbors or whatever it is. I think everybody's got some relationships where you kind of mutually agree to be kind. But a lot of what I'm going to talk about is actually going to be focused, since this is coming on the heels of Christmas, the show, about how a lot of the events around the holidays, even though it's all kind of sunshine and sweetness in terms of the Christmas carols and the pictures and all that, the reality of it is much different. So I'm going to kind of delve into some of the dynamics, family dynamics, marital dynamics that go on behind the scenes of the holidays, where you kind of have to sometimes put on a fake smile and pretend you like each
And
other.
breathe with purpose. You should come to my house if you want some new material. You
Yes.
should have been there all last week. Burley, when is the fundraiser?
It is Friday, January 29th. It's going to be at Bellevue Baptist Church.
Okay.
The doors are going to open at 6:30, and then Ben takes the stage at 7.
So it's first come, first serve as far as the seating goes?
Yes. So we're, actually, this would make the perfect stocking stuffer. Tickets
It
are on
would.
sale right now
Yes.
for $15 per
Okay.
ticket.
So where can we get those?
You can go online. You can come to Mentor Kids website. You can stop by the office to pick up tickets. We have a group of churches that are going to be selling them also for us.
Okay. All right, let's just remind everyone what Mentor Kids, what the purpose is for Mentor Kids in our community, and how someone can become a mentor, and do you need new mentors?
Yes, well, I'm so excited to talk to you. The first interview we did, I think I was only here for a couple of months.
Yes.
And I was trying to learn everything just going along. And then when I met with you, it really opened up my eyes because I needed to see the mentoring more in a real time. I personally am not a mentor because I look at all the kids as mine.
Yes.
So my husband is now a mentor and loves it. So I've been able to step back and see what they do, to see how you can truly pour into the life of a child. And so all of the kids in our program and on the wait list, they all come from single parent families or non-traditional.
Okay.
And we're actually finding out now that it is more common for great aunt, great grandma, cousins, sisters to be raising the kids.
Yes, and that's challenging for them.
Yes.
I mean, I think about with my own grandchildren, I'm 52, sometimes it takes a lot of energy to watch those kids, and I cannot imagine doing that all the time.
And then just so coming alongside them, we have really focused on equipping our mentors. So we actually measure spiritual growth.
Okay.
Academics are huge to us, and I've really made that like my platform, so to speak. And then life skills, character, and so the mentors, we equip them with different activities to do. It's very easy to be a mentor if you love Jesus, you live in Davis County for over 6 months, and you're over the age of 18.
Okay.
That's what we ask for a mentor.
So it's no one out of this tri-state area, just in Davis County?
We have some mentors from Ohio County and Hancock County, but they have to drive in to get their
Yes.
mentees, and then we ask that they spend at least 1 hour a week with them.
Okay.
So by the time they get that hour in, then they have to drive back. So we do not, you know, we never, it's very rare we will ever, if you can meet the requirements, we're not turning you down.
Right, okay. So you're looking for mentors right now, currently?
Yes, men and women.
Okay.
Our waiting list is at 17,
Wow.
but I want more.
Mm-hmm.
I want more on the wait list because I think that that is what fans the flames of my heart
Mm-hmm.
and my mentor coordinator's heart and basically the staff. And that is when I love the feeling of going to my knees, just praying for God to provide.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've learned since our last interview that at Mentor Kids, we get our manna daily.
Yes.
Finances, it's daily. There are times whenever I step out in faith, in responsibility, my board is listening, but step out in faith to do a program such as the tutoring program,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that He has to provide, because after much prayer and seeking Him, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is what He wants for Mentor Kids right now.
Let's talk about the tutoring program. What is that?
I'm so excited. Okay, so our kiddos, we have also come alongside to help the families. We offer them our services. We do so much more than just match and then send them on their way. We have allowed the parents to share the Infinite Campus, their child's Infinite Campus password and username. So if mom is so busy working her 2 jobs and keeping her head above water,
Right.
Maria and I can come alongside, find out what subjects we need to work on, and also what subjects they are excelling in. So then we can equip their mentors.
Yes.
Also, we can equip their mentors, since academics is so big, because math is not like it was whenever we were in school.
No, it's really not, is it?
No. And so doing the tutoring, in the elementary, they do the 7 habits for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so on Fridays, if you get your homework done, they give you homework on Monday. If you get your homework done on Friday, then you get to sharpen your saw with all of your other classmates. And so what that means is for an hour, you get to pick out some fun activity that you can do alongside your classmates.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have your homework ready to turn in on Friday, then you go and finish your homework in another room.
Oh, I see.
So we have tutoring now on Thursday nights, because I want every single one of our kiddos to come here. We will help them with their homework, no matter what that takes from us. But when they walk into that school, I want their heads held high.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to have a sense of pride that they are going to sharpen their saw. And then also Fridays, if you don't pass your spelling test on Thursday, then you take your final one on Friday.
I see.
And we had actually grandma drop off 2 of her kids and raising both of them. And this was, I had to refresh myself to do the subtraction of the fractions without common denominators.
Mm-hmm.
When she came in, she just sat down and just kind of like collapsed and rested. And I was like, I can't even imagine being grandma, who's probably never even seen this form of math.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure,
Yes.
because if the child did not get it done, the child would not be sharpening their saw.
Right.
So we do that every Thursday. We start at 5 o'clock. We feed the kids from 5 to 5:30.
That's awesome.
Then we do the tutoring from 5:30 to 6:30. Then we do from 6:30 to 7. If everybody's done, then we do some type of a game to let them decompress, so we're not sending home a bunch of kids that are wound up.
Wow.
So,
You're doing a lot of great things here at Mentor Kids Kentucky.
Love
And
it.
yes, when I first interviewed you, you were just a few months into it. It's been 8 months now that you've been with us. You've done a lot in 8 months. You really have. And I can only imagine what the plan is for 2016. It can only, progress and move forward. So how many kids are currently in the program?
currently in the program is 53,
Okay,
but we have matched 14 kids since I started March 2nd.
okay.
We've had some amazing success stories. We had one child actually age out and is now going to UK. So that was bittersweet,
Yes.
because he's been a part of our family for so long.
Mhm.
Then with the economy the way it is, we've had some families that have had to move out to find different jobs, especially some of the closings and stuff that have been happening.
Right.
So, but we're looking just to build back up.
So do you have mentors that follow, even though the child turns, what is it, 18, when they no longer can be in the program? Do you have your mentors, some of them follow them?
Yes. And what we have found out, especially whenever the children, or the kids at that time, whenever they reach junior high-ish, going into high school, when they become too cool for everybody, we then modify the matches, still making sure that mentor somehow reaches out to the child. And we have found out that we all make bad decisions. And whenever we had a 20-some-year-old mentee make a very bad decision, their first phone call was to their mentor.
Wow. That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It really does. So you are funded just by businesses and foundations that support Mentor Kids Kentucky?
Yes.
And churches? Do the churches help support Mentor Kids?
Yes, we have a couple churches that are faithful to us, which is, I mean, it's huge. Because whenever you're a nonprofit, right now, the funds are drying up.
Yes.
But then we are a nonprofit that will never stop saying or putting the word Christian in front of Adult Mentor. And we will never take Jesus out of who we are. So that's why we get daily manna. We are daily praying just for his provisions.
And God definitely blesses you and provides.
So good. He is.
We are faithful, when we are faithful to him, he is so much more faithful to us. And just when we follow his lead. So I want to thank you for what you're doing here at Mentor Kids Kentucky.
I love it.
I can tell. Can you tell, Ben? She loves it.
I was a little overwhelmed the first time we met.
No, that was all good. It was a good dress rehearsal.
Yes.
And we'll visit this again, in 2016, and I can't wait to hear what's going on then.
At the end of the year, if anybody is just sitting around wondering what they should do with the extra blessings God has given them and they need a tax write-off,
Yes.
we are a 503c.
Okay.
Just putting it out there.
Ben, what can we expect from you the night of, what is it, January the 29th at Bellevue Baptist Church? What can we expect from you this night?
Well, I think everyone will have a good time. I always say it's hard to gauge exactly what I'm writing, and I come up with 20 some odd pages of material because it's stuff that makes me laugh. That's really all I have to go off of, And then I do bounce things off my wife to try to filter out what's inappropriate or maybe what won't play as well, and she's pretty good. So far it's gone well. I think people will have a good time. I think it would make a good date night or a time out with your family. There's not a lot going on in January. As a movie buff, I can tell you I've wasted a lot more money on a lot more inferior time. So it's a live thing, and it's fun, and it's at a time of year when most people don't have a lot going on. So I think you will enjoy coming out, and like she said, I try to make sure there's something for everybody. And if I offend anyone, I try to make sure I offend everyone, so that no one feels picked on.
Do you bring up fitness into your comedy routine
Well,
at all?
I usually bring up lack thereof, but I do
Okay.
bring up my own fitness, and yes, that does work its way into the show.
Okay.
frequently.
I'm just putting you on the spot here, is there a joke you want to tell at all?
A joke I want to tell at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's a number of directions I could go with that. Do we want to keep this fitness focused, or what?
Whatever you want to do, Ben, it's fine with me. It doesn't have to be fitness focused.
Even
Although this is shaped by
by
faith.
faith.
Right, I mean, I want to stay in keeping with the
Yes.
theme here. I do have some material. My sister had tried the vegan thing, and that gave me a lot of material.
I bet it did.
And we were all very proud of her, but one thing I've noticed with vegans is they are not content with the rest of us living in our ignorance.
That is
And
so
they-
true.
They feel the need to pass along,
Yes,
right?
that's true.
So
Yes.
it was weird, It'd be like, oh, I got to go, pick up my son's birthday cake and be like, "Well, don't you know the ingredients in that cake and increase your chances of acne and hammer toe by 27%?" You know, and they don't stop. A lot of them I notice don't stop with the food. You know, it's like they want to eat the all natural, gluten free, preservative free, sugar free, flavor free, lactose free, enjoyment free, birdseed, and they're not content with that, but they want to do everything as naturally as possible. You know, so I'd be like, "Hey, I like your shirt." I'd be like, "Oh yes, I wove this myself out of plants that I farmed in my backyard whilst I was giving birth in the hallway." And I just think there's right
for the colon.
I think personally I would rather live like 70 years in a good mood than 100 as an uptight vegan. But that's me. That's like what I said to my sister. Like, you're probably right. I don't care that you're right. I want to. I know I need to be more health conscious, but anyway.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. You have a daughter, right?
I do. A daughter and a son.
A daughter and a son.
Yes, and that's the other thing. People ask me where I come up with material, and mostly I just take notes. It's just,
Gotcha.
if you're observant, then the material presents itself.
That's true.
Yes, and my daughter, occasionally I have to get her ready myself for school, which is never a mystery to anyone who sees her. And so...
How old is she?
Well, now she's a little bit more independent.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's 9 at this point, but I still have to help her brush her hair sometimes and that kind of thing. But like her hair, it's like if I fix it, it's like it's kind of in a ponytail.
Kind of.
But I didn't gather enough.
Oh, goodness.
So it looks...
Kind of a messy ponytail.
Well, I say she looks like a founding father in a Barbie backpack, because it's like...
Poor
The rubber
child.
band's like a ½ inch from the tip
Oh,
of
no
it.
way.
But men, we know if we ruin something, we don't get asked to do it again.
Exactly.
So there's some strategy there.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know this from my husband so
Yes.
well. Yeah. Burley, again, the dates.
Friday, January 29th. Doors open at 6:30, and Ben takes the stage at 7. And right now, tickets are $15.
That's really good.
Yes,
$15.
January 1st, they go to $20.
Okay.
And then the day of the show, which we posted on Facebook and people were already buying online.
Wow.
Yes, so if you go to Mentor Kids Facebook page, you're going to be able to find the link to purchase tickets.
Do you have a cap on the amount of people you'll allow in? Does it hold a certain amount of people?
It holds a certain amount of people.
Okay. It holds a certain amount of people.
It does hold a certain amount of people.
Yes. Good question. So let's just all buy a ticket. How about that?
Yes.
And it's a great stocking stuffer.
Okay, he's already hysterical. I mean,
Yes, he's great. I think I'll have to buy myself a ticket, Ben. I'm glad we met.
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard your name, and you'll have to come to some Shape by Faith classes.
All right.
Shape
Work on
by
my
cake.
plans.
You gotta work in Shape by Cake.
Yeah, Shape by Cake. If you bring up Shape by Faith.
And how you walked in with your Route 44
Yeah,
Coca-Cola beverage.
Oh yeah, we're gonna work on that, right? That's just
I
colored
know.
water, right?
Right, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Evian from the fountain at Franny's.
Yeah. Is that an eagle or a
Yes,
It's a dove.
Because
dove?
it's all
a
natural.
dove on a
It's
drink.
all natural, so there's pictures of nature on the cup.
Yes.
Oh yes. Water is good for the
Right.
soul.
Water.
Well, thanks for coming on, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was great meeting you, and cannot wait till January 29th for the local fundraiser. And Burley, I'll have to revisit you again,
Yes.
you and Maria, and we had a great time. Both of you did amazing in the exercise, and we're going to segue to that, okay? So everyone stay tuned, because we're going to talk about what Burley and Ben did in the exercise segment. Welcome back to Shape by Faith. Well, my guests today are Burley Tillman Sullivan, the Executive Director of Mentor Kids Kentucky, and local comedian and firefighter Ben Cecil. So both of you guys are in the exercise segment, and you did pretty well. You did really good.
I got a steroid shot yesterday, so I broke my form today because I felt a little weak. But I think that Ben's knees actually were touching the carpet. I don't want to like just put that out there, but.
Man, I thought steroids were supposed to help you perform better. Isn't that
Yeah,
right?
actually, really.
But whenever you're as weak as
Baseball
I am.
players.
So what I had you both do was a plank. And in most of my exercise segments, it's an exercise that anyone can do at any time, any place. I mean, you could definitely do this here at Mentor Kids Kentucky. You could bring the exercise segment here. As a firefighter, you could do it there as well. I mean, I used to do this all the time when I was waiting for my kids. If I'm on the soccer field, I'm just going to drop down in the grass in a forearm plank. It's not going to, I mean, I don't care what other people think around me. I'm all good with that. So what you guys demonstrated was a forearm plank, and it does take a lot of core strength to do that, right? But the plank is all about the strength, and it's all about elongating your muscles. So let's say you're sitting in your car for a while, you're waiting for your child, or you're sitting down at work. You need to stretch the body. You need to lengthen the body. So that's what both of you did. So Ben, when you were in the plank, how did you feel? Because I did notice your face started turning red.
Yes. Well, I have a generally pale pallor to begin with. Yes, I was nicknamed Powder whenever I was
Really?
named
Were you
firefighter.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, you weren't.
There's
Okay.
there's definitely worse things you can be called.
Yeah.
But yes, I had not done planks for some time, and so I could feel the blood rushing to my face, and I was definitely shaking doing it.
Yeah. You
It's
had
very
good
effective.
form. What about you, Burley? How did you feel in it?
Well, first I'd like to point out to the viewers that they notice our hands. My hands were very nice and relaxed and flat. Ben, however, was like choking the life out of an ant. So maybe that is how come I ended up breaking form, because I was letting all the energy flow.
Okay,
Right.
so when you went into the partner aspect of the exercise, which was fun, you can do this with a child, with your partner. You are up on your hands in a push-up position, and I had both of you rotate out into a side plank, which takes a lot of balance and stability in the core, upper lower body again, and then you high-fived each other. How did that work out for both of you?
I didn't want to fail Burley, so it helped me to go over that extra.
I
Oh,
appreciate
good.
that. I really do.
And
I
then,
was just hoping on the second time we turned that
really
you'd like
good hanging.
drop it down a little, because I'm up there like trying
Oh,
to
I'm sorry, yeah, I didn't think about that.
reach for the stars.
yeah, well, when you guys, then you rotated around to the opposite direction, and you had to do it back over. So I would say if someone has a shoulder injury, to not do that particular one because of the rotation in the shoulder, but if you want to work that shoulder more, it's great to do that one. And you demonstrated it both beautifully. I just want to let you know. You know, kids love challenges. They really do. They like competitions, you know, like who wants to be the line leader, who wants to be the helper. You could do a plank challenge with them. You say, okay, everyone down the plank for 30 seconds, you know. Or you could have them go up to a minute, to 2 minutes. I mean, there's all kinds of things like that that you can do with kids. And Ben, you could work this into your comedy routine somehow, right?
I'll find a way.
Okay.
Shake my cake.
Shape. All right. Shape. Shape by Faith cake. Okay. So if you guys listening want to see more exercises, go to WOMIOwensboro.com or www.shapebyfaith.com. Bye.